In the tapestry of spiritual exploration, few figures stand out as prominently as Ram Dass. Born Richard Alpert in 1931, his journey from a prominent Harvard professor to a revered spiritual teacher is both captivating and inspiring. Ram Dass's teachings, characterized by their simplicity and profound wisdom, continue to resonate with millions around the world. His message, rooted in love, compassion, and the pursuit of truth, transcends cultural and religious boundaries. Ram Dass's life was a testament to the transformative power of seeking. He delved into the depths of human consciousness, exploring realms beyond the conventional and the accepted. He challenged norms, questioned assumptions, and ultimately embarked on a path that led him to the heart of spiritual awakening. His story is an invitation to each of us, an invitation to question, to seek, and to discover the boundless potential that lies within. Richard Alpert, as he was known then, seemed destined for a life of academic success. He excelled in his studies, eventually earning a PhD in psychology from Stanford University. His career trajectory led him to Harvard, where he became a respected professor. Yet, beneath the surface of this conventional success, a deep-seated yearning for something more was brewing. Alpert's academic pursuits, while intellectually stimulating, failed to quench his thirst for spiritual understanding. He grappled with existential questions about the nature of consciousness, the meaning of life, and the limitations of conventional psychology. His search for answers led him to explore unconventional paths, pushing the boundaries of accepted knowledge. This period of intellectual and spiritual exploration brought Alpert face to face with the limitations of the Western academic model. He realized that the mind, with all its complexities, could not be fully understood through the lens of scientific inquiry alone. A more holistic approach was needed, one that acknowledged the spiritual dimension of human experience. Driven by this realization, Alpert, along with his colleague Timothy Leary, embarked on a controversial path. Their groundbreaking research on psychedelic drugs like LSD and psilocybin mushrooms challenged the established norms of the time, opening up new avenues of understanding consciousness. This period marked a turning point in Alpert's life, setting the stage for his transformation from academic to spiritual seeker. Alpert's exploration of psychedelics brought him face to face with the limitations of his own ego and the boundless potential of human consciousness. His experiences led him eastward, towards the ancient wisdom traditions of India. It was during this period that he met his guru, Neem Karoli Baba. Neem Karoli Baba bestowed upon him the name Ram Dass, meaning servant of God. His transformation from academic to spiritual teacher was complete. Ram Dass became a beacon of light during a time of social and spiritual upheaval. Richard Alpert was born into privilege in 1931. His father, George, was a prominent lawyer and railroad president. His mother, Sarah, was loving and philanthropic. Their Newton home was a hub of intellectual exchange. Richard excelled in studies, encouraged by his parents. Despite advantages, he faced high expectations and pressures. As he matured, Richard explored philosophical and existential themes, seeking deeper meaning in life. Driven by a thirst for knowledge, Richard Alpert set his sights on Harvard University. He thrived in the intellectually stimulating environment, immersing himself in his studies. He pursued a degree in psychology, drawn to the field's exploration of the human mind. At Harvard, he engaged in lively debates and explored new frontiers of knowledge. Richard's charisma and wit made him popular among his peers. He connected with people from all walks of life, genuinely interested in understanding the human experience. His professors recognized his abilities and encouraged his pursuits. He excelled, earning his bachelor's in 1952 and master's in 1954. Despite his achievements, a part of Richard remained restless. He yearned for a more holistic understanding of the human experience. After completing his PhD in 1957, Richard Alpert returned to Harvard as a faculty member. He quickly gained a reputation as a brilliant and engaging professor. Yet, a sense of unease persisted. Richard began to explore personal and spiritual growth. He read widely in Eastern philosophy, drawn to meditation and mindfulness. As his interest in Eastern spirituality deepened, he felt limited by Western psychology. He began to question his own worldview, sensing a need for a more expansive perspective. Despite his outward success, Richard Alpert felt a profound sense of emptiness. He had achieved academic recognition, yet felt deeply unfulfilled. Richard took a sabbatical from Harvard, seeking self-discovery. He traveled, seeking wisdom from spiritual teachers. In India, he met Neem Karoli Baba, his spiritual guide. This meeting marked his transformation into Ram Das, the spiritual teacher. In the vibrant intellectual landscape of the 1960s at Harvard, Richard Alpert explored consciousness through psychedelics. With Timothy Leary, he initiated the Harvard Psilocybin Project, studying psilocybin's therapeutic and spiritual benefits. Their research showed psilocybin could alter consciousness, inducing mystical experiences and a sense of peace. This challenged the scientific view of consciousness, suggesting psychedelics could aid personal growth and mental health. As Alpert and Leary delved deeper into the world of psychedelic research, their work attracted increasing attention, both positive and negative. Their findings, while groundbreaking, challenged the prevailing scientific and social norms of the time, leading to controversy and ultimately jeopardizing their academic careers. Their experiments, often conducted outside the confines of the traditional laboratory setting, raised eyebrows among their more conservative colleagues. Critics accuse Alpert and Leary of promoting drug use and undermining the integrity of scientific research. The growing popularity of psychedelic substances among the counterculture movement, fueled in part by Alpert and Leary's work, further intensified the scrutiny surrounding their research. The media seized upon the story, often sensationalizing their findings and portraying them as irresponsible advocates for psychedelic experimentation. Despite the mounting pressure, Alpert and Leary remained steadfast in their belief that psychedelic substances, when used responsibly, held immense potential for human exploration and healing. They argued that their research was essential for understanding the full spectrum of human consciousness and for developing new approaches to treating mental health conditions. However, their pleas for open-mindedness fell on deaf ears. In 1963, amidst growing controversy and pressure from university administrators, both Alpert and Leary were dismissed from their positions at Harvard University. Their dismissal marked a turning point in their lives, freeing them from the constraints of academia but also thrusting them into the heart of the burgeoning counterculture movement. Alpert's expulsion from Harvard, while professionally disruptive, proved to be a catalyst for profound personal transformation. Freed from academia, he embraced a life of exploration and spiritual seeking, ignited by his experiences with psychedelics. He traveled extensively, immersing himself in Eastern spiritual traditions and seeking guidance from spiritual teachers. He delved into yoga, meditation, and Buddhism, drawn to their emphasis on mindfulness and compassion. His journey took him to India, where he encountered a vastly different spiritual landscape. As Alpert immersed himself in Eastern spirituality, he began to experience a profound shift in consciousness. The rigid boundaries of his ego dissolved, replaced by a sense of unity with all things. He realized true happiness and fulfillment were found within, not in external achievements. Alpert's journey led him to question his Western worldview. He embraced a holistic understanding of reality, recognizing the interconnectedness of all things. His experiences laid the groundwork for his transformation into Ram Dass, the spiritual teacher. He would share his insights and wisdom with millions. A Bridge to the East. From Psychedelics to Eastern Wisdom. Alpert's journey led him deep into Eastern spirituality, but he never abandoned his interest in psychedelics. His perspective evolved, viewing psychedelics as tools for spiritual awakening. He recognized psychedelics were not substitutes for genuine spiritual practice. He emphasized integrating insights from psychedelics into daily life through meditation and mindfulness. He cautioned against seeking enlightenment solely through psychedelics. Alpert, now Ram Dass, became a bridge between Western science and Eastern spirituality. He articulated the transformative potential of psychedelics while grounding them in ancient wisdom. He acknowledged psychedelics could be valuable for some, but not necessary for everyone. Ram Dass's teachings reflected his evolving understanding of consciousness. He emphasized respect and understanding of psychedelics' risks and benefits. He believed psychedelics, when used responsibly, could catalyze personal growth and spiritual insight. They could deepen one's connection to the divine. Chirium. Arrival and Disillusionment. Drawn by Eastern wisdom, Richard Alpert journeyed to India in the mid-60s. He arrived eager for enlightenment, filled with romantic notions of gurus. India, however, had a different lesson in store. The sights, sounds, and smells overwhelmed his senses. The poverty and chaos contrasted sharply with his privileged upbringing. Initially, India resisted his attempts to grasp its essence. He traveled from ashram to ashram, seeking wisdom from renowned teachers. He studied yoga, sacred texts, and meditated, hoping for enlightenment. Frustration mounted as he encountered his own ego and cultural barriers. He grappled with impatience, doubt, and disillusionment. The spiritual insights from psychedelics seemed elusive. Gurus appeared flawed and contradictory. Richard questioned his path, wondering if enlightenment was a naive fantasy. Despite frustration, he persevered, driven by an inner voice. He realized his journey was about confronting his ego and opening to grace. His true guru was just around the corner, ready to alter his life's course. Meeting Maharaj-ji. In the summer of 1967, Richard's journey led him to the Kainchi ashram of Neem Karoli Baba. known as Maharaj-ji. This meeting would dismantle his ego and ignite devotion. Maharaj-ji, with his mischievous smile, saw through Richard's facades. He was unlike any guru Richard had encountered. There was no pretense, only a profound presence radiating love and wisdom. Maharaj-ji revealed he knew Richard's deepest fears and desires. This encounter shattered Richard's skepticism, revealing a realm beyond rationality. In Maharaj-ji's presence, Richard felt peace and belonging. Questions melted away, replaced by gratitude and longing to surrender. He recognized Maharaj-ji as a true spiritual master. Under Maharaj-ji's guidance, Richard underwent a profound transformation. The walls of his ego began to crumble. He embraced Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion. He learned to quiet his mind, open his heart, and serve his guru. Maharaj-ji taught the importance of living in the present moment and cultivating compassion. He emphasized the transformative power of love. Richard received his new name, Ram Das, meaning servant of God. This name symbolized his spiritual awakening and commitment to service. Ram Das spent years at Maharaj-ji's ashram, immersing in teachings and selfless service. He cooked, cleaned, and absorbed wisdom from his guru. He learned humility, surrender, and the boundless nature of love. Ram Das fully embraced his role as a spiritual seeker. After years of spiritual practice, Ram Das felt a calling to return to the West. He left India with Maharaj-ji's blessings, carrying his teachings and love. In the early 1970s, Ram Das returned to the U.S., met with curiosity and skepticism. The counterculture movement had dissipated, leaving a generation seeking meaning. Ram Das embraced his role as a spiritual teacher, sharing his experiences with warmth and humor. He spoke to packed audiences, resonating with those seeking authenticity and connection. He published Be Here Now in 1971, a spiritual touchstone for millions. The book was a guide for living a life of presence and compassion. Ram Das became a beacon of light, offering a path to wholeness and spiritual awakening. In 1971, Ram Das released Be Here Now, a cornerstone of the counterculture movement. The book offered a radical message of presence and compassion. It resonated with a generation yearning for authenticity and connection. Be Here Now was a transmission of Ram Dass's spiritual awakening. The book's unconventional structure reflected the spirit of the time. At its core, it offered a simple message. Happiness lies in embracing the present moment. Ram Dass encouraged mindfulness and finding joy in being. The book's message struck a chord with those disillusioned by traditional religion. It offered a path to spiritual awakening rooted in direct experience. Be Here Now inspired countless individuals on their journeys of self-discovery. The power of now, mindfulness, presence, and spiritual awakening. Central to Be Here Now was mindfulness, paying attention to the present moment. Ram Dass presented mindfulness as a key to inner peace and compassion. He emphasized the mind's chatter as an obstacle to happiness. By becoming aware of thoughts, we can experience deeper presence and peace. Mindfulness is about accepting our thoughts with compassion. Meditation connects us to the present moment and inner stillness. Consistent practice leads to profound shifts in consciousness. By being here now, we unravel the illusion of the separate self and connect to boundless love. Beyond the printed word, Ram Dass's unique voice and humor. Ram Dass conveyed ancient wisdom in an accessible and engaging way. His unique voice blended insight, irreverence, and sincerity. He used humor to make teachings relatable and less intimidating. He embraced the messy reality of being human. He encouraged playfulness and curiosity in spiritual practice. His personal anecdotes made teachings relatable. He shared his struggles and triumphs on the spiritual path. Ram Dass's warmth and humor made him a beloved teacher. He reminded students that spirituality is about embracing all aspects of being. His teachings resonated with millions, offering a path to spiritual awakening. Enduring relevance. Be Here Now in the 21st century. Decades after its initial publication, Be Here Now remains a timeless classic, its message of presence, compassion, and spiritual awakening as relevant today as it was in the tumultuous days of the 1970s. In a world increasingly dominated by technology, information overload, and a relentless pursuit of external achievement, Ram Dass's teachings offer a much-needed antidote to the stresses and distractions of modern life. The practice of mindfulness, once considered a fringe concept, has now entered the mainstream, embraced by psychologists, educators, and even corporate leaders as a valuable tool for reducing stress, enhancing focus, and cultivating emotional well-being. Ram Dass's pioneering work in bringing mindfulness to the West has undoubtedly contributed to the widespread acceptance and integration of this ancient practice into contemporary life. The message of Be Here Now transcends cultural and generational boundaries, speaking to a universal human longing for connection, meaning, and a sense of belonging. In an age of anxiety, uncertainty, and social fragmentation, Ram Dass's teachings on love, compassion, and the interconnectedness of all beings offer a path to healing, reconciliation, and a more just and compassionate world. Ram Dass's legacy extends far beyond the printed page. His teachings continue to inspire countless individuals through recordings of his talks, videos of his lectures, and the work of the Love, Serve, Remember Foundation, which he established to preserve and share his teachings. His message of love, presence, and service continues to ripple outward, reminding us that the path to happiness and fulfillment lies not in some distant future, but in the precious present moment. At the heart of Ram Dass's teachings lay a profound message of love, a universal embrace of all beings. Love was the essence of our true nature, the connecting thread that binds us all. He spoke of love as a radiance, an emanation that could heal and transform. Love, in its purest form, was unconditional, flowing from within. He encouraged cultivating love through surrendering the ego. Love was an active force expressed through compassion and kindness. He challenged recognizing shared humanity beyond superficial differences. Ram Dass emphasized that true love was not merely an abstract concept, but a force that expressed itself through compassionate action. He spoke of loving awareness, being fully present with others, meeting them with kindness and understanding, He encouraged simple acts of kindness, generosity, and service to others. Even the smallest acts of love, a smile, a listening ear, a helping hand, had the power to brighten someone's day. He reminded his students that the practice of compassion was an ongoing journey, not a destination. As we cultivate compassion, we become beacons of love and healing, inspiring others and contributing to a more just world. In 1997, Ram Dass's life took an unexpected turn. He suffered a major stroke, leaving him with significant physical limitations. Yet, he embraced his new reality with humor and acceptance, referring to himself as a stroke yogi. His physical challenges became opportunities for spiritual growth. Despite the stroke, his mind remained sharp and his heart full of love. He continued to teach and inspire using technology to reach a global audience. His message of love and presence reached a new generation. Ram Dass's post-stroke teachings took on new depth. He spoke openly about aging, illness, and physical limitations, emphasizing acceptance of impermanence and finding grace in adversity. He taught that true liberation lies in meeting life's challenges with courage and compassion. Ram Dass became a beacon of hope, reminding us that love and presence are our greatest strengths. Ram Dass left this physical plane on December 22, 2019, leaving behind a legacy of love, wisdom, and a profound invitation to live a more conscious and compassionate life. His teachings, rooted in both Eastern spiritual traditions and his own unique experiences, continue to resonate deeply with seekers from all walks of life. He bridged the gap between science and spirituality, between Eastern and Western thought, and between the mind and the heart. His impact can be felt in the widespread embrace of mindfulness and meditation, practices he helped popularize in the West. His teachings on love, compassion, and the power of presence continue to inspire countless individuals to live more meaningful and fulfilling lives. His legacy lives on through the Love, Serve, Remember Foundation, ensuring that his message of love and awakening continues to reach future generations. Ram Dass reminded us that the spiritual journey is about fully embracing the world, with all its joys and sorrows, its beauty and imperfections. His life and teachings continue to serve as a beacon of light, guiding us towards a world where love, compassion, and presence illuminate our path.